And now to Occupy Vancouver. It is on the move again tonight. A justice of the BC Supreme Court ordering an end to Occupy's new tent city outside the Robson Square Law Courts by about an hour ago. But the judge did not agree to any kind of sweeping injunction, which would have extended to all public lands in the city. And so the tent city is simply relocating once again.
What give you the right to give up the fight?
The day begins with a massive cleanup on the Art Gallery grounds, where Occupy Vancouver vacated yesterday, leaving behind piles of junk. Today's cleanup bill is estimated to top $20,000.
How many trucks would you say you needed?
We started off with 8, and we went up to 15 in total.
Carrying the junk away?
Carrying the junk away and bringing material back, like bark mulch and that, so we can top dress up the area down here.
The occupiers have set up camp at the provincial court just across the street from the Art Gallery. According to one security expert, this has become an unnecessary game of cat and mouse.
I think politics has been a piece of this since day one. There's a bylaw against trespassing, as well as there's a section of the criminal code called assault by trespass, where if the owner asks that you leave private property and you refuse to, you've committed a crime under the criminal code. So yes, there is lawful authority for police to remove them.
Because this is provincial land, lawyers for the Attorney General are in court asking for an emergency injunction to remove the tents immediately. But they're also looking for a broader ruling which would make sure the occupiers don't set up camp somewhere else.
The court granted an injunction on 4 hours' notice for the removal of the tents and other structures that have been erected at the courthouse property.
You were asking for a broader injunction so they couldn't set up anywhere. She rejected that. Why do you think that was?
Well, she rejected it because she thought that was too speculative to be brought on the present facts.
We got it into court. We got the request in. They've granted it. I'm delighted about that. I am fed up with this. Those folks need to pick up their tents and leave.
Injunction's just been granted for 5 p.m. today. Pending what we do next. We're not going home, but we have to go somewhere.
The encampment and the movement they're tied together, but the issues with respect to the movement, you can't evict them, you can't get injunctions against them.
For the second day in a row, the occupiers pack up their belongings with a 5 p.m. deadline looming. But the 2 injunctions that have been issued only apply to the law courts and the Art Gallery. So the protesters are preparing to set up somewhere else.
No peace! No peace!
At the same time, Vancouver police and sheriffs arrived to enforce the injunction. After a thorough site inspection, they removed the 2 tents and other junk that was left behind.
All right, Marissa joins us now live. We've established that the broad injunction wasn't granted. They can pretty well set up wherever they want to, Marissa. So where are they now? We know that they're on the move again.
That's right. You saw them marching with that metal dome. They went to a SkyTrain station. They got on the SkyTrain, Broadway rather, and Commercial, and they're marching down to Grandview Park. They've arrived there, and now they're waiting for the moving truck, that U-Haul truck, to bring all their personal effects. There are also dozens of pallets behind me. They're waiting for the truck to empty at Grandview Park, come back, pick up the pallets, and go back. They expect to set up a new tent city there. And just to clarify, there are bylaws. There are city bylaws that prevent this type of thing from happening. It's just that the city has chosen for the past 5 weeks not to enforce them. So they're certainly enforceable if the city and the police choose to enforce them, that you are not allowed to set up a tent city somewhere. But right now it's up to the discretion of the police or the city. Chris?
And we'll see what tack they take, obviously, with the new encampment at Grandview Park. Thanks very much for that, Marissa.